Send in goat
Cool.
team
Make sure
6
everything's sorted.
now.
Getting close to that 2-year mark.
All right.
Word.
That's us getting into all of that, but let's see. Op 4 slowly spawning in. Real quick, let me just say, Nordic Profit, thanks to the 18-month resub, and Lord Silver Swift, thanks for the 2-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. I'll check Discord in a second. Oh, yeah, that's an April Fool's joke. I will say, as we're transitioning to DayZ, I will undo some of those changes. If not, I'll wait till after I'm done getting trolled in DayZ. But otherwise, 65-minute round on Summa, 15-minute safe start. This is what the map is looking like. Let me go ahead and put the prediction up for you guys before I go anywhere further here. Round 2, NA, Op 4B defending, Blue 4B attacking. Go ahead and get that prediction set up for you guys, and let's jump right into it. So mission brief here, made by Good Time Saddam. Background is on October 16, 2012, the Free German Army was tasked with assaulting a section of pre-war Moscow Pact border in the Baltic SSR. Op 4, for Special Notes, Op 4 has a stationary anti-aircraft weapon at the AA position. Okay, so they can't move the English air, is what I'm gathering from their game mode. It's going to be sectors, 3 sectors under control of Op 4, as long as Op 4 has an infantryman alive, not unconscious, not dead, not leaving the sector. Blue 4 cannot capture it. Blue 4 capture it by putting an infantryman in the sector. So 3 of those to work with, interestingly enough. Mission variables, 1,000-meter view distance, yes to magnified optics, and yes to NVG equipment. Defender fortify points, 250. I rarely see it go above 125, so that's going to give the defenders a lot of room to build their own fortifications if they're quick to mobilize. Medium anti-tank weapon settings, every AT guy gets an AT and an HE round, so 2 per fire team, 4 per squad, so interesting. Otherwise, let's go ahead and start with Op 4, because I'm already over here. Op 4 uniform is going to be Separatist Forces with a Spectre camouflage. Quick breakdown: platoon leader, platoon sergeant, squad leader, team leader, auto rifleman assistant, grenadier infrared, IR. I don't know why I call it infrared, just what IR means to me, but basically the people, they get the Hunt IR rounds, which are 40mm grenade launch rounds. You fire in the air and turn into little cameras. They can access those little cameras and get a bird's eye view of the map. Really nice to see. Machine gunner assistant, combat engineer, the guys that deal with explosives and trick plays. Light anti-tank gunner, Mat 1 and Mat 2. Recon infantry scouts, which have the suppressed weapons. Designated marksman, looks like it's going to be an SVD for Op 4. Sniper with that T5000 right there. Crew leaders, crewmen, pilots, medics, and then the base kit. Loadouts, it's going to be AK-74s across the board. Oh, I hope we have the fun crew and aviation question. No, they have a PP-2000 or an AKS choice. Otherwise, AK-74s, RPKs and PKPs for the light support weapons. Light anti, I think, is going to be the RPG. As I already said, Sniper gets T5000, and the 2 scouts get a choice of 45-round AKSs or a 20-round AS Val. Nothing on crew serve weapon for Op 4. Otherwise, they get the Igla chair, the 9K38, 2 BTR-70s, 3 Kamaz trucks for transport, which they are not the glitch shot versions because they actually have the capacity to carry a bunch of people, 2 Dishka cars, 2 static cords, 1 transport UAZ, 3 searchlights, and then 6 additional searchlights on top of that. That's kind of cute. Going on that faction, we're going to have Cholt leading, who is one of the better commanders here. He's still learning everything, but he's a pretty good commander in his own right, so we'll see how things go. Tender Baner leading X-Ray, Rinse and Repeat as their medic. Falcon's going to snipe with the T5000. I'm going to be honest, because of the way that this is a magnified optic fight, I don't see Falcon being too effective, because this means that there's going to be a lot of assaulting from various directions, but we'll scan the terrain later. Green Shade going with that suppressed AKS. I mean, yeah. And he's the only scout on, but I would say the suppressed shooters should get AKSs or AS Vals with PSO-1 scopes. I mean, mwah. That would be a beautiful weapon to work with tonight, especially if the terrain is like this. An AS Val with a PSO-1 scope would actually be killer. Otherwise, Nielsen leading Alpha HQ. He's got Sholand and Cadbay over on... I bet you that's Bay, and he changed his name to join with the Pepega pirate joke for April Fools, where they change all their names to Star Wars theme, in which case that would be a playoff of Cad Bane. Cad Bay, I love it. He's going to be with Sholand in a BTR 70 from the looks of things. Montgomery leading Alpha 1 with Chini, Arab, Drake, Sablon, Eagle, and Wells. Norris leading under Alpha 2, LeBroy, N1, Dobbs, Frost, Lurch, and Sam Handwich. Bravo HQ being led by head honcho Anderson, guy in charge of the NA branch. He's keeping his teams diversified here. Bridges leading Wheaton, Coda, Poe, and Maverick. Bravo 2 being led by Cosmonaut with Cool Breeze, Miller, Martin, and Patriot together. Vagrant, I don't see a Charlie lead, so I think there's going to be 2 more teams. Vagrant leading his team with ACR, Kane, Glazed, Arcor, and Helios. And actually, no, Helios is in charge because he has a slash in his name. Waldo leading the other team with Tymic, Ash, and Despo, but they could just be additional vehicle crews because, again, there's a lot of vehicle assets in play today. Otherwise, that is the Northern Force. Let's go ahead and look at the Southern Force here for Blue 4 going over and breaking things down. Their uniform are German kits. I'm going to quickly scroll down to the Marksman here because that's always different. Designated Marksman looks like it's going to be a 416 with a scope on it, which doesn't really matter because, you know, everyone gets magnified optics. So G36s, a Mini-Me, and an MG3, one of the, if not the best MMG in the game. I'd argue the best LMG is a 249 because that fire rate, absolutely devastating. But if you want fire rate, an MG3 is just an MG42 that's modernized. It's just a killer with that 7.62 or 7.92, whatever the heck it fires, that massive caliber. It shreds people, and with that incredible fire rate, even if you're aiming center mass, you're going to drop them before they can even get the headshot on you, you know? They got the M72 Law as their light anti-tank. Recon Sniper gets a choice of M2010 with different camos, and then the suppressed shooters either get an MP7 or a Mark 14, and then the crew and aviation either get a choice of an MP7 or an HK G36. CSW, Delta is going to be given the mortar. They've got access to smoke, HE, and flare rounds, but I know they have 20 HE rounds. So we'll see if they're effective with that tonight. But assets, we have 8 Land Rovers, 2 HMG Land Rovers with just the M2 up top, 600 rounds of that. An MRZR, SC. Oh, it's the freaking Command Humvee. That's what it is. So it just has it's just a Humvee with more health in the back. But otherwise, all the properties are the same. If not, it's slightly slower. You got a 117. The GMG has been replaced with a 249. So it's a, excuse me, not 249, 240 Bravo, so it's a 7.62 instead of the Mark 19, which is unfortunate. I'd love to see a Mark 19 in play one day, but then they have the UH-60. No modification to its ammo count. It's got all of its ammo, 4,000 rounds on either side. Interesting. And then that helicopter is just a debug piece right there. Looking over at the roster here for the attackers. Again, they also have a 5% number advantage. You got Korvac leading with Shy as the 2IC. Hezia taking X-Ray lead. Battlebee being the medic. Tanaka taking the sniper. J-Law being the suppressed Mark 14 gunner. And again, the battle rifle is going to be really excellent tonight because of the SU-230 scopes going to be able to put on because magnified optics is on. Yeah, no, I like it better with the light. Reckless going to be the other suppressed shooter. Techneer being the 2IC for that team. Pullen being Alpha 2 team lead, which it looks like they're only having an Alpha 2 team lead. No Alpha 1 or Alpha HQ. He's going to have Dover, Heinrich, White, Ace, Jones, and McSwagger with him. Side, it looks like Artisan's actually going to be in charge of Bravo HQ here, but Bravo seems to have merged as maybe the leader in one team or just one team overall. He's got Side, Durgrinder, Coop, Gary, Green Thumb, and Olaf together. Squeaks has Revenge Grav, Galil, and XXL Tiger together in Charlie HQ, which I think they've merged with Charlie 2 for those additional numbers here. Galil being the team leader, Squeaks being the squad leader. Genry leading Charlie 1. He's got Chaos Danny, members of the 82nd, which I believe are Arcane and D Barnes. But we also have Mimi, which I just call him Mimi, but it's Mimi Beeler as the full name. And then Jokro. But it looks like they just merged all of Charlie together there. Snatch Goblin leading Delta 1. He's got Azuki, Saddam, Wise, Thomas, Wayne, and Pierce together. I think Snatch Goblin's the squad leader, but Delta 1's team leader, I think, is Pierce. under that group. It's hard to tell when they do those merges. But otherwise, G-Legs and Blam taking the 117. I'll be curious to see what G-Legs does. He's usually one of the really good vehicle players. And then Mountain's going to fly with Topher and Viz with the Gunners. Mountain, I know, can fly. We have some really, really good pilots with an FNF, but we'll just have to see how everything goes. Where is Falcon? Falcon is the sniper for the Op4 team. But otherwise, don't really have a lot of major factions on tonight. I don't see any Papegas. I don't see any Scandies. I only see Bay, Falcon, and Norris as our top honchos. So it's going to be a lot of play. Actually, no, I lied. So we have a few. I know Artisan and Coop. Actually, I don't know if they're Papega or not, but we do have Tanaka with Coalition on, which, you know, when they play, they're also pretty devastating. But a lot of Milsim players on tonight. I think it's going to be a pretty even match, regardless of where everything goes, especially since we're having a magnified optic fight. Even though it's Summa as the map, those magnified optics are going to be really helpful, especially with NVGs in play. So let's go ahead and look at our AOs here. Sector 3, the closest one, this hill, is just this fortified area right here. Nothing too much. We do have those AA spotlights looking up in the air and illuminating various things here, but I don't actually see where the AA static is. But I mean, this one, you know, it's on top of a ridge, got decent map control, but can be easily flanked. I mean, all of these AOs, I think, are going to be really tough for the defenders to take care of, simply because there's just so much tree cover in the way. So these magnified optics are really going to help the attackers out the most, because there's so many different positions where the attackers can set up and just plink at any defenders in the AO, and the defenders are kind of just stuck here, forced to deal with whatever really comes at them. UH-60 is not going to be as effective either, because anyone with a magnified optic can go up and plink at the UH-60, but at the same time, that full 4,000 rounds on either side, it's going to have a lot of suppression capability, and I'm not seeing a lot of positions where Op4 can do any hiding, but we have the static right here. This is the AA position. It's got decent eyes on certain angles, but then some, I mean, the trees just get way too damn close, but I don't think... Okay, no, the AA position is marked, so, I mean, that just leaves the other two sectors for the UH-60 to go ham, just avoiding the Dishka cars that can easily shoot its engine out. But otherwise, again, a good perimeter right here, but I guess I can see why they gave that build point advantage to Op4. They're really meant to just dig a perimeter around this and hunker down, and it's gonna be a tough fight. It's definitely gonna be a tough fight. You hear the BTR crew laughing a little bit. They might have gotten themselves stuck there for a second. But otherwise, I'm going to quickly... Thank you for congratulating me, Nordic. Pickle jars are a difficult beast. But everything is hanging quite well. Again, we're going to be casting rounds 2 and 3 and then going right into this, some DayZ. I'm going to do it on Frost server. We're going to go hunting for nails. And then after that stream concludes, I'm going to undo all of the April Fool's changes. But dinner was great. Thank you for asking. And yeah, we'll turn on the sound bites and you can all mess with me, because that server has a pretty... I think that's out of all the servers we've done between our group, that's the one with the healthiest population, at least, you know, having over a dozen people a night. It gets quite messy, especially on a map size like Essaker. But otherwise, that should be everything. In terms of who to bet on, I would honestly say the attackers with that 5% number advantage just have a slightly better start with here. Considering that the mat teams also have HE on both sides, and the attackers also get the mortar, which if we look under CSW, that's for Delta. Delta has... it's under Delta 1, so it's 1RW utilizing... I assume Pierce knows how to utilize that mortar. But we'll just have to see. The mortar is actually really, really easy to utilize from air. You just need the air asset to loiter and then confirm where the mortars go. But we'll see if Blue 4 has the patience for that. But everything here is set to be really in Blue 4's favor, in my opinion. It's just a matter of can they grasp the victory with all the stuff they're utilizing here.
Send in GOAT Team 6 now.
Luwu.
Kimakaru, thanks for the 29-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Yeah, if you want, Neko. I mean, the thing about DayZ streams, though, is it's better if I do it solo, because otherwise it defeats the purpose of people trolling me, because I can immediately just go to my teammate and go, did you hear that? And then I look like a paranoid schizo. It's better to run into people, in my opinion, and then make them think I'm schizophrenic. Like what happened with that admin in the damn pickle jar on the other server. Are there other streamers on the New DayZ server? No, because it's my community server. People are allowed to go on and stream there. Don't get me wrong. It's just no one else really streams on, you know, my community. They've all gone out and made their own communities, you know? Northern, Barbarian. Nothing wrong with that. But otherwise, round has begun. Trying to see if Blue 4 is actually going to have any false starts here, which I think they did.
Did anyone get hurt?
Yep.
Beautiful.
No, we gotta get in the Vic. You fucking nearly there.
Get in the goddamn thing. No.
Fuck off, Squeaks! I got Arma! Fuck off!
Yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. We just gotta start moving first. Keep driving, chaos.
Bandage
Alright.
me.
That's what I'm doing.
Negative. I'm just kidding, Grab.
Well, this is great.
I'm just kidding, Grab.
So the DayZ server, it's open for anyone. They do have an April Fool's prank on it, which I'm not going to describe for fear of TOS, but I would say it's a good server to have. It's a good mix of people being friendly and people that'll shoot you in the face. It's not every single person you meet will try to kill you, but, you know, if you're in, like, a military area, you can expect a fight. But there were 4 of us trading on it last night in a military zone, and then a 5th guy showed up and tried to murder us all. It was cute. But, no, I would say it's a good server to start on, but there is a lot of mods. Definitely a lot of mods. But if you want a TLDR on how to join that, you can either look on my Discord and message me, and I will help you set that up. Because like Arma, I'm just happy to help people find something to do on the internet that they would enjoy. But regardless of what's going on here, Blue 4 have a squad back at base. The UH-60 is already in Op4 territory. It's attempting to do a deep landing back here, as it has X-Ray already grouped up with them. I don't see any UAZs on local defense, but we are seeing some shooting from a close position. Now I'm going to tab out real quick and mute myself. Sorry about that. Just because when people die, you can hear them locally. So I'll be curious to see where that UH-60 goes to land people. We got a convoy coming in right here. Looks like they stopped for a brief moment. Yeah, wait for DayZ to go on sale, I'd say. Because that server is probably not going to go anywhere for a while, because we're also constantly making changes to it. But what's nice about it is we've also just built on top of Essacre, so it's not Essacre, it's Essacre with like 20 to 30 custom areas. Its own custom lore building framework where you use the lore documents to find the custom areas. We put a lot of work into it. When I say we, I mean I did maybe 5% and Frosted 95% of it, but maybe tonight we'll go to one of those custom areas if I can find some gas filters, because I don't mind showing it off, because at this point most of the people know where it is. There's also velociraptors that will murder your face, and I'm not even kidding. You can go with some of the best gear in the game and you can still get murdered by velociraptors. And then there's the fucking T-Rex at the end tier zone that climbs over the damn wall in E2. I haven't released that video yet. I'm going to in a few days, but my god. You have 4 gas filters at base? Nice, Neko. Alright, we might do it after I hunt for nails. We'll see. So, looking up here, it looks like the UH-60 was taken out. My apologies for getting caught up. A lot of X-Ray has died. And it's only down to 3 people, so I think Tanaka was the sniper. He's out of the game. We have one of the suppressed shooters, and we have the team leader and the medic. Now, that's a bit of a problem, because I think these guys were waiting for that helicopter to come back, so now they're going to be forced to take a Vic and move in. Looking at this LZ, though, not surprised. I don't know what took that down. It looks like they came in contact with a tree because I see that knocked over right there. But now we have this Op4 line of forces coming in. Mountain also DCing. Ouch. I don't know, guys. That's a pretty tough one. Loss of the UH-60 early on means that they don't have to have anyone crewing the AA position. I do like that Op4 has primarily gone over one sector, though. A little bit of stuff defending another sector, but the third one they've just completely foregone because it's not worth it. I do appreciate something like that in terms of strategy. But I imagine this Op4 group's going to now encircle and eliminate these remaining guys at the crash site unless they get moving very, very quickly. But you can see the amount of bandages they've had to do here to get out. Looks like one of them... Ooh, did they try rappelling? Because this is rappel rope right here. So they might have done a rappelling and completely scuffed it. And that might have been what killed everyone. So, I mean, if this group comes back, they check the wreckage, they're going to know it's X-Ray because there's the sniper out right there. There's the Mark 14 EBR. But immediately you got Battle Beef taking fire. Some GLs knocking J-Law off his feet. These guys are desperately trying to pop smoke to get out of this position as Grenadier rounds come in. So again, magnified optics on all sides is going to make this fight very, very difficult. As now we're starting to see two different positions of fire coming in, one from their immediate southwest and one from their west. And one of the three goes down. That was the other suppressed shooter, J-Law. And now it's just up to Battle Beef and Hezia. Dishka now coming up, providing suppressing fire. Looking over to the south, Blue 4 is just starting to get to the border. Hezia trying to put some shots on Tenderbaner. I don't think any of those shots landed. Yep, Tender was able to get to cover. Quickly looks over, but oh, we got Bridges and Wheaton coming around to cut off these guys' escape. They're going to move and run right into him. Hezia immediately taking fire, quickly tries to pull back, gets knocked out. Battle Beef now going to go for it. Tries to hit Bridges, is unsuccessful. Wheaton now coming around. Catches him in the middle of the grenade throw. Wheaton does a quick reload. Bridges pushing, is going to get caught by that grenade. Gets knocked out, but that is Hezia killed. Excuse me, not Hezia killed. Battle Beef killed. Hezia down right there. Bridges could receive medical attention from rinse and repeat, but that is pretty much the entirety of X-Ray sweep. Bridges waking back up. How brutal. Falcon coming up as well, ready to double tap. If I were Falcon, Falcon getting friendly fired and killed by Bridges. Oh! No, it wasn't. Who got that? I don't see a -1 in play. That's because one of them got the kill here, so that's why it's now at 0. Oh, Falcon's going to come into my chat and bitch about that. Give it 20 seconds. He's going to come into my chat and bitch about that one. Oh. Oh, I love it. A classic. Remember the rule. Falcon can only truly die from either being overwhelmed or to friendly fire. And there's Anderson getting the double tap on Hezia. So almost a perfect run by Op4, but Falcon getting friendly fire there. I think it was by Bridges. Might have been by Wheaton, but oh, that is just beautiful. Friday night fights are the friendly fire Falcons. Meanwhile, Blue 4 crossing the border over here. Their AO is just to their left, but they might try to bypass it and go for a deeper one. They only need to send one guy over there to capture it. But otherwise, now we just have to wait to see what the next move is. Falcon sent me a range card of his stuff on Discord, and I'm just gonna, here, I'm gonna reply to him. Doesn't look like you need that range card anymore, Chief. Oh my god. I feel so bad for him. There we go. Yep, told you guys he'd show up. Oh, I love it. Otherwise, Blue 4, we're sending 2 guys. There's the 82nd CAB guys going over to take the sector. We have a fleet of people over here. This is where they're dropping the mortar. Okay. Blue 4 is going to be taking this incredibly cautious then. I'd imagine not having the entire squad stay back to defend it, but oh man. Falcon, I mean, you ever think they do it to you on purpose because you're Falcon? Ah, that'd be pretty funny. It's the underground rule of all the milsim groups, just the friendly fire Falcon when they hear him. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Just get shot anyway. They hear you and they're like, oh, we thought I was a bad guy. I mean, granted, there's a lot of people in the world that, yeah, you scared them, Falcon. They heard your voice. They got PTSD flashbacks from you murdering them in previous rounds, and they just shot first and asked questions later. That's how it went. All right, there's Sector 3 captured because no one was in it. I'd imagine we're going to see this mortar get redeployed somewhere a bit closer to be staged against the other two sectors, but that's why I also kind of like where Op4 set up their defenses. They only have a few guys in the sector itself. They're all heavily spaced out because they're trying to avoid any complications against a mortar position. So we'll see how that is countered. Ah, man. I'd assume the next point of contact is going to be somewhere in here. Probably this four-man group heading north right now. It's going to run into the entirety of Charlie, who has made their spearhead here. This does kind of open up for this blue 4 group to come in and flank this area, but then a counterattack by this force could potentially happen. A lot of room here for Op4 to make a move, but we also need to see these guys rally back and head south to reinforce. But it looks like Blue 4, we're going to see a about squad-sized element take on this force, so they are outnumbered. This group, I'd imagine, is probably going to push north, take Sector 2, because it's very lightly defended, and then flank. The question is, can that group get that done and start flanking before this group gets wiped out? And I think that's going to be a no. Just because of the terrain, just because of the magnified optics. With magnified optics, you have to react quicker to things because someone can just scope in and tap your head and that's it. Rebel saying he was betting on Falcon getting friendly fired. Yeah. I mean, that should be, we should do an April Fool's meme poll. Will Falcon die to friendly fire today? There's Blue 4 starting to come up. Already 2 of them taken out. At 50% strength in that remaining group. You got Mimi here still alive. That was D. Barnes and Arcane taken out fairly quickly. Is that Despo getting fired at by his own troops? Why am I hearing... They're using the AA missile position on infantry coming up because they know the UH-60's down. That's quite cute. Mimi taking heavy fire here as he tries to pull back. He, she, I don't know. Yeah, some long-range shooting back there. I think Glaze is just firing at a different target. I just heard a mine go off. I can't believe they're actually using the AA position like that. They've moved it into here, and they're just firing it blindly at infantry. That does very little damage to anything that's not an aircraft. I think it could knock a player out if it's a direct hit, but my god. I know, Bar, but saying that just sounds weird to me. And they're still firing. There it goes. Good old little rocket artillery. Otherwise, we have the Dishka now firing down, or that could be the cord static. Up for... We got a truck coming up here. Might pick up the rest of them. That Dishka car might come down south and come around and try to flank. But now we've got the rest of Blue 4's forces deploying over here, and this squad is now moving up. They're in a bit of a wedge with Shy as the 2IC leading. I'd imagine they're going to redeploy the mortar right here. That mortar, if it could potentially start pelting positions, would be great, but it's going to have to be accurate with it, and I don't see it being accurate. So we still have Mimi over here alone, but I think Despo's about to commit Despacito. Despo heard the medical noise, saw Mimi. And Despo's like, I'm not going to touch that. Oh, is Despo going to touch it now? Oh, God, Despo, you just facialed Mimi. Okay. Well, beautiful headshot. Double tap just to make sure, but one was enough. Now you're having the mortar starting to land on target here. Very close. It was about 20 meters off, I would say. Another thing you could always do with a mortar is you can use smoke rounds to range. Normally, again, you'd have the helicopter above looking for these rounds, and then they could walk the mortar in, but because they lost that helicopter early on, it's not going to be useful. You got the 117 pushing up, immediately engaging and disabling the BTR, killing the gunner. Driver quickly gets out. Where is Op4 AT? You got them firing at it. People are getting taken out left and right here. A 117 rushing up. Waldo completely overranged it. I'm waiting to see if there's any AT response. I don't think... Yeah, they're just running up as infantry trying to GL it. I think they disabled the gun with the GL by directly hitting the turret. Yep, they're smoking, showing that they are a little worried about the situation. More GLs going in. I don't think GLs can actually kill the crew inside. We got some small arms fire. Ah, Falcon, you sent me a clip. I'm so sorry, buddy. Post it in the FNF Media channel. I'm sure they'll get a kick out of it. So if that 117 can pull back to a safe distance, I think they'll be fine. But G-Leg's getting 2 free kills. Not bad. Though they need to keep driving because that Dishka or Cord static. No, the gun is still fine, actually. Interesting. Got some Blue 4 back here. They are under fire. Some blind shots being shot over here. As Blue 4 are kind of spacing out their line here. So you got Patriot in the AO. Korvac has entered it, so now Blue 4 is going to think there's forces in here. But I think there's sufficient room for this Blue 4 force to come in and flank this overextended Op 4 force, but only if they take that sector. Thought I heard more mortars fired as well. Where is Delta? Saddam is all the way... What the fuck? No, they kept the original mortar position. All right, if they're firing from back there, the fact that they were able to land within 20 meters of an enemy position is actually... It shows they are being accurate with it. As you can remember, you got to account for the wind differential, a lot of different things for artillery. But now we're going to have Blue 4 trying to take this sector. We could also see this Blue 4 force completely bypass and hit this sector from a different direction. But I think it would be better if they supported the initial attacks themselves. I'm worried about this group right here because we're seeing Op 4 starting to surround it from the top like this. But that's it's a tough call. And there's Sector 2 being captured because Patriot left the sector. So I'd imagine these guys are back here, I guess, to be a blocking position. I don't really get the point of why these infantry are back here. I guess no, because this is outside of the sector. So why are they over here? This makes no sense. To have these 5 dudes back here, you know what I mean? Also, I know his ACR King got kicked by an admin, and now he's leaving the server. Weird. I wonder what happened there. AT just went into a BTR. And that is now burning. And flaming out. And this BTR has mounted. They are now pushing into this position. Do we have any AT guys ready to go over here? What do we got? We do have C. White. What is he equipped with? Is he light anti-tank or medium anti-tank? He is light anti-tank, but that's still enough to disable the BTR. As it's pulling back over here, we just heard explosives go off. Don't see any smoke clouds here, so I can't tell you where they're from. And we have X-Ray coming up in a UAZ, now starting to do a close dismount. I think Genry hears them. Now you're having Op 4 starting to run over. Blue 4 might have just saw that. Maz up here, quickly trying to go prone and engage. Actually gets the hit on Jokro there. And he's double tapped from a different angle from across the street. Tenderbander trying to come around. Gets immediately blown away by Genry and Danny. UAZ Dishka trying to find a new position. Grenades going out. But this Blue 4 force is a little shell-shocked, but Op4, even though they were having some great early gains, just are still completely in disarray, I'd say. Again, we have these 5 guys back here. I have no idea why. You got this force over here. I think I was trying to flank this force down here, but that's just opened up now for these guys to bypass these guys that were here, I guess to reinforce the final AO, but now you're going to have to fight right on top of the sector. Might have been a misplay by Op4's maneuvering. Danny, meanwhile, I don't know how he was just able to slide like that, but that caught Maz out of position. And now Danny's standing, now he's prone. Interesting. We had another mortar coming over here. The 117 just got hit. It is flaming out. G-Legs is probably going to burn to death in there. But I don't know what these guys are doing. They're now going south, maybe to try to hunt a mortar position? Maybe they think the mortar's back there, but at this point, they're just kind of wasted manpower here. At this point, G-Legs got out. He is now on fire. Oh, you hear him screaming. That is not good. Otherwise, now you got Blue 4 right here, ready to pounce on this sector. They've got magnified optics to actually look in and engage any Op4 that they see. Op4 now swarming on this hill, but now all the mortar needs to do is just bomb this position with mortars. So they're actually landing a little far right now outside of the sector. But if they could get it in the sector, that's what they want. But I think they committed a little too hard here. And you're just seeing all these rounds coming in right here, unfortunately. Meanwhile, you got Rinse and Repeat and Green Shade holding these few Blue 4 forces here. Looks like they actually got quite a few from this Charlie HQ element. So Blue 4 really has to rely on these forces to get in, and they're going to do a smoke charge. Try to close the CQC. We just had more AT coming, hitting that BTR. I think it was already disabled from a previous thing. But yeah, no, they're dumping all of their HE without confirming it because that mortar position's all the way back there. So kind of unfortunate that the mortar got wasted again, but that's because they lost their helicopter, and I would assume they were going to use the helicopter for that, but Dishka UAZ coming on the rear of Blue 4 here. And now you got Blue 4 doing a smoke charge. This is where the fight is going to be determined, in my opinion. You hear that MG3 going off? Despo desperately trying to get a hit on Jones, unable to land the killing shot. Waldo's caught bandaging here. Despo pulls back, I think hearing the footsteps getting closer. That's going to give a hole for Blue 4 to start moving in on this sector. Grenade perfectly placed, knocking, doing damage on Tymic and Despo. White getting taken out by Dover. I think the other guy who was shooting at was taken out, though. Possibly a little bit of friendly fire up there. But Blue 4 now need to get the rest of their forces, and we're having a bit of a long-range engagement as these 5 guys are starting to come back. But Blue 4 at this point need to pull away from there and just focus on this sector. I'd imagine the mortar's out of ammo because they've left it. Now they're walking in on foot, but they're going completely different direction. Green Thumb, meanwhile, he's pushed up, knocked out N1. He's trying to get some other pickoffs here, gets the double tap on N1. Got Artisan and Olaf also coming in. Again, Op4, they do have a lot of guys out of position, though. We got the Dishka coming around. But they still have a really big chunk of defenders on the sector itself. Looking at the map here, the skull count is definitely more on Blue 4, but only slightly. But you got to remember, Blue 4 also had that 5% number advantage early on. So if Blue 4 can get in here and push harder, I want to say on the eastern side here, because the northern side's having a bit of a stump here. In fact, Tymic could actually get medicked up and maybe get behind this group, or Vagrant could come around and do pretty heavy damage. But these are some pretty nice overwatch positions Blue 4 has to fire at the other half of the sector. But relying on players like Artisan and Green Thumb to come around. There was a third one, but I think he went down. To potentially get up there and sweep wouldn't be a bad call. Meanwhile, looking at this, Miller's come up. He actually won a one-on-one. And now Wise and Wayne are trying to find him and eliminate him. We got some grenades being thrown. They're going far, though. But yeah, Blue 4's pulling more forces against this Vanguard force back here. And you also have these three guys running over. What is going on with the maneuvering at the team level? Meanwhile, Artisan pushing right into Montgomery and Lebroy. I don't even know. He gets taken out. Blue 4 down to 4 guys here. I think Op 4 has this at this point. Just a really weird miscoordination of some of their infantry at the final level, which makes sense. I think Korvac died. He was leading this group and just wasn't able to rally the other forces in. The mortar was misused, unfortunately. The UH-60 was misused. They lost the Blue 4 X-ray group early on. It's just quickly falling apart. And Blue 4 is only down to a few elements on either side at this point. You got some stragglers going all the way over here. I think people are just lost, to be perfectly honest. Because I keep seeing people maneuvering in completely separate directions than they should be on. And Op 4 has just been able to, you know, with the last sector, condense all their forces upon hearing that that last sector was attacked and just saturate this area. Heinrich taking Dishka fire, quickly goes prone. I think he's still in the kill zone for it, if not slightly. Pullen gets shot by Poe on the rear and knocked out. A grenade landing right at Ace, but Ace is already killed off. You just have Jones right here holding. And you got these elements over here, just some outskirts fighting. Patriot notices Thomas, takes him out. If he turns around, he'll spot Wise. Got explosives being thrown up here, though they appear to be ineffective because they're on the opposite side of the sandbags. Wayne found, and he is taken out. Wise still walking around back here, might catch Cosmonaut. Unable to get the killing shot, but he's got Ash right behind him, who's going to knock Wise out. All right. You got Lurch now pushing up to the remaining 3 Blue 4 guys here. You're going to have Op 4 condense around. Again, you still have Blue 4 just all out here doing jack. So this is probably going to be a round that goes to time because of all those outskirts groups completely lost. More explosives being thrown up here. I think that got one of them. We're down to 2 now. That would be Lurch throwing these explosives up, which, based off of the size of the explosion, I'd say he's lobbing satchels up there, which, you know, is not a bad offensive weapon. Throw that to where you know groups of Blue 4 are hiding, or I guess your enemy, technically, and you'll have a recipe for a disaster. This is round 2. We still have round 3. But Blue 4 is just down to stragglers at this point. Some might be hopelessly lost. Anderson firing up and killing, I think that was Heinrichsen. Nope, Heinrichsen's still alive. That was Jones. He's just chilling in a bush. He's going to be doing medical. Still got some grenades going up there, but there's a blue speck and a sea of red. And at this rate, Blue 4, I mean, it's a 3-man group, a 3-man group, and a 2-man group. Patriot throws his own explosive charge in there and quickly pulls back. Again, great use of explosives here. Otherwise, I think we're just going to chill for the rest of this round. I think we're having some red on red now, as Op 4 is a little touchy over this whole attack. I love how Op 4 command is down back here. He's being worked on by a medic, though. question is, can Heinrichsen play hide and seek and get a few kills in the process, or is he SOL? I don't know. I mean, there was a chance for Blue 4 to do it, but the way they, you know, threw the first group in there, the way they had some of the side groups in there as well. Did he just take Lurch out? I'm pretty sure he just took Lurch out. No, he didn't. He didn't get a kill. Okay, Lurch is down there. My bad. There were some signs that this was going to play out this way, but I tend not to go off of those because it's just a potential. Shut up, Barb. But there was just a lot of disorganization. Vagrant's probably going to spot Heinrich here. He does not. Does Ash? No, well, that doesn't matter because Wheaton found him and took him out. And immediately Patriot drives in. Oh, I love it.
Woot. Friday night fights.
Now you got Bert, the closest player here, but again, you're just going to have the remaining Blue 4 elements trickle in over the next 19 minutes, and that's going to be it. But Tin, how are you doing, my man? Thanks for the 44-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. 418, usually that's a throttling issue with your ISP, believe it or not. So I would recommend lowering the quality on your stream to 720. That might give your bandwidth enough room to compensate to keep the audio and the video quality synced. But there's nothing I can do on my end to help you with that, other than lowering the quality on my side, which would, you know, affect everyone watching. All right, Bert. What do you got? Because you're alone. Because Saddam and Chaos are completely lost. These two are going to meet up with those other two. There was a third guy in one of those groups, but I guess not. Bert doing his best. Immediately got shot a few times. Not sure if he was able to dish any punishment himself. Maybe got a few wounds. No kills. He's going to quickly flank around as Montgomery is thinking the same thing. He retracts into a tree to quickly bandage. Montgomery checking over the hill right here. How do you join if you want to be a part of it? DM me on Discord and I'll show you how, because background knowledge, we have someone actively DDoSing everything I do, so now I have to take those commands away for a few weeks until they get bored and go away, so I have to be a little more selective about putting the information out publicly, unfortunately. Montgomery's going to spot Bert, and there's the headshot. Montgomery up another kill. That is his second of this round. But yeah, if you're ever curious about any community I'm working with and you want in, just DM me, and I will get that set up. Eagle freaking out, shooting bridges. Montgomery also shooting bridges. Sablon taking shots by Saddam, but Saddam's about to get Saddam Husseined. And there you go. There goes Saddam. Perk of being a famous streamer. You get DOSed and DDoSed all the time. Yeah, I mean, that has never been an issue until now, and nothing. I have one potential lead, but I doubt it. It's just out of the blue. Who the hell knows? Enough red on red, blue wins. Yes, because that's totally how this round's going to play out for the rest of it. 17 minutes. The rest of Blue 4 starting to trickle in. We're down to 5 players. And, I mean, Chaos, I feel like, has just been lost the entire time. Granted, he's gotten 2 kills so far, so good on him with that mini-me. But the rest of Blue 4 pushing in. I mean, they're outnumbered like 4 or 5 to 1 at this point. And Galil gets gunned down by Despacito. That's his second kill of the round. Yes, Tim, there are some names you're going to recognize here. Because, you know, we do have some CSV players now. We have some Scandi. Actually, I don't think Scandi's on for the NA branch. They're just on for EU. Patriot flanking and eliminating Tiger. Now we're just down to Danny, Grav, and Chaos. At least Op4 is now filtering in. I'm just checking to make sure there's no other Blue 4 guys. It was just a big amount of disorganized assault, in my opinion. Especially on an AO that really did favor Blue 4 to win, but just goes to show you, if you're completely disorganized, you're screwed. And I thought Despo just ran right on top of Danny there. Grav and Patriots. Patriot having to reload. Chaos coming around, might run into Ash. Grav gets the kill on Patriot. Chaos getting shot by Ash. Explosive thrown over here. You still have Danny and Grav alive. I'm going to do round 3 and then Daisy. Because we weren't able to do round 3 of EU and round 1 of NA, so. You know. Grav, why did you just... Okay. Guys, if Op4 doesn't kill me, I'll kill myself. I think he was going to throw it and then try to run, but he immediately got caught out of position, and... Yeah. That's why you generally don't want to do those types of maneuvers, in my opinion. How do you check the prediction? What do you mean by that, Rebel? Alright, Danny trying to pick off Eagle. Eagle quickly crawls under a tree into some concealment. We'll see if the Op4 Hounds here pull back to those shots. Your Daisy base got raided by Arc? Amazing. As soon as you left for vacation, right? Ha! Not sure, we just had some red on red right there. Eagle freaking out over the one Blue 4 guy. Vagrant the closest to Danny right now. Dun-dun. Dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Danny's really jumpy right now. Oh, Vagrant, you have to see that foot moving. No. I was shot at from here. That tree looks good. It must have been my imagination. I didn't know Skyrim elements were in Arma 3 now. Again, Fog of War. Fog of War. I mean, we're only delaying the inevitable, but Fog of War. Nielsen. Nielsen, come on. Come on, he's in the tree, Nielsen. Ash. Ash, come on, he's a Vietnamese soldier. He's in the trees. Nielsen going prone right here. Did he spot him? I have no words. I have no words. That was something. Okay. That's round 2. Op4 wins. Yeah. We'll go ahead and pay the prediction out in a second. I'm just letting it, reset here. Yeah. Okay.